my channel. I'm going to be sharing with you guys today the 3 top authors that I found in the very beginning of my special education career that really has gotten me through teaching the social emotional learning topics such as social skills to students that I have had the pleasure with working with over these past years. Picture for you. I had just graduated college and they had spent so much time ingraining in us how to write a lesson plan, how to write it properly, how to have standards for all the academics you have to teach, this and that, and meeting all the students' needs at the same time. But one thing they never talked about was social skills. And I could not tell you that when I got my first job as a teacher and I looked at an IEP or an individual education plan, and it had a social skills goal. First off, I looked at that and I didn't even know what social skills were. I was like, social skills? What's that? And I would look over these IEPs and I would see more and more social skills. And each goal was different. There was one on feelings, one on regulation, one on perspective, all of these different things. And I had not a clue on how to teach them, how to measure them, how to even go about discussing them with a colleague, let alone being able to teach it to students. So I did what I do best. I did some research. I Googled, Pinterest, read some blogs, asked some coworkers, took some social media things, and did my own research. And I found my very first author we're going to talk about today. And she is wonderful. She has, I believe, a book about every single major social skills topic. And she was actually the first one I found. And if you are in special ed and you teach social skills, probably not so much in secondary, maybe middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, maybe, but mainly elementary, you know who I'm talking about, the fabulous Julia Cook. Julia Cook has so many books, and to be honest, I don't even think I have all of them because when I have invested a lot of time and money into these books, but she has come out with some new ones recently that I'm pretty sure I don't have. But here is a good chunk of them now. But these are amazing books. They come with great visuals and great resources for you to repeat or remind students on their behavior. So My Mouth is a Volcano, for people who have students who interrupt a lot. We have Lying Up Storm, if you have students who like to lie about things. This is a great book. Soda Pop Head, for students who have big blowouts and have those big emotions. Great thing for that. We have Wilma Jean, the Worry Machine. And then there are some that are just interesting that you wouldn't think you would need a social skill for. And I remember the next book I'm going to mention I bought because I had a student who had a lot of hygiene problems and I couldn't find anything, and I could only find this book, and it is an interesting book to say the least. But after we read this book, the student decided to take a piece of paper and draw boogers and Kleenex ghosts and put them all around the classroom, and in his handwriting that was barely legible, write, "Wash your hands, don't pick your boogers," and that is, "I am a booger, treat me with respect." And he would draw the little booger and the little ghost, or tissue as he would call it, and put them around my room to remind them when actually he was the one that needed reminding. Another really popular one is Bully Beans. That's a very popular one. And when I use my top 2 would be Bubblegum Brain and Personal Space Camp. I use these every year. I like using Personal Space Camp the best because I'll get the students all hyped up. Yeah, let's go. We're going to learn about space. And then I actually go through the procedure that the principal does. You can see my lovely little notes that I have for my interactive read-alouds. And we go through all the activities before we read the book. And then they're like, "This isn't space related." Not that kind of space. I'm talking about personal space. And then I read the book, and then what happens is they get really excited, like, "Oh, we did that." Yeah, you're right. We did do that. So this is one of my favorites. I talk about growth mindset up to wazoo every year, and this is usually one of my go-getters for it. We have Ricky Sticky Fingers for students who like to steal. I had one who liked to steal quite a bit of things for a while. But like I said, there are just so many books about attitudes, teamwork, being unique, following the rules. Another one of my favorites, Tattle Tongue, beautiful, love it. So like I said, if you are looking for a social skills book and it's either a popular topic or a unique social skills that a student needs to learn, Julia Cook is probably the best place to start. All right, now we talked about number one. Let's talk about my second favorite social skills author. Now, this author, I actually did not even know the topic until I did a personal development training for the district I worked at, and it was through a company that I've heard of before that actually helped teach the zones of regulation, and it was Sarah Ward, and she talked about executive functioning. Now, a couple of things that I thought and learned after this professional development was, one, at first I was like, what the heck is executive functioning? What does that even mean? And two, when I left it, I could not tell you the level of frustration and annoyance that I felt after I left it, because I left with such clarity that it just dumbfounded me that nobody was talking about these skills anywhere, because all 10 skills were literally the base of majority of my students' struggles. Planning, organization, self-control, working memory, flexibility, perseverance, those 10 skills, if you really thought and dug really deep with all of my students, one of those skills was the main problem that they were struggling with. And I was like, oh my God, we need to just bite this head on and just go for it and dive right in. And I was doing some research and I couldn't find actually any read alouds to go with it, except I did find an author. His name is Bryan Smith. And he created a series of 10 books. And each book, they go in order. I don't have them in order right here, but each book talks about a specific executive functioning skill. And it's about two brothers. And these two brothers go through the journey of learning these executive functioning skills together. And I love that it's a tale about brothers, and it's about not just one characters, but two. And it is amazing. We've got Time to Get Started, a story about learning task initiative, which is an executive functioning skill. We've got How to I Remember All That, a working memory book. We've got Fix It with Focus, a story about ignoring distractions and staying on task. And the best part is I know he's got a lot more books, and I only have a couple of them. If Winning Isn't Everything, Why Do I Hate to Lose? It's one of his books. When I couldn't get over it, I learned to start acting different. Behavior. Mindset Matters. Okay. He has other books, but what got me into his books immediately were the executive functioning skills. Now, with these books, I did use them for my elementary students. I would say that they are probably geared more towards the upper level of those executive functioning grade levels. So like 3 and above, these books would be a little harder to grasp and understand with like the kindergarten, first, second grade kiddos. But that didn't stop me from reading it to some of them. It just depends on your kids. If they have that comprehension level, they might understand that. But usually with those kids, I would first read an easier, more illustrative book about those skills, which I have actually made. So if you would like those, it is linked in the description below. All right, the third and final author that we are going to talk about in this video is actually an author I discovered, I would say in the past 2.5, 3 years now. And the reason I love this author is it is so relatable to younger students, but the older elementary level students buy in it as well. And I love this curriculum, this series, and everything about this author. I can actually integrate it with the zones of regulation. I can integrate it into a whole bunch of things. And I know as teachers, we go all out and buy things for our classroom, but when we do that, sometimes we go a little bit extreme. And I hope you guys have heard of her. Her name is Diane Alber, and she is the creator of A Little Spot of Feelings. I have almost every single one of her books. I love them. She talks about feelings. She talks about skills. She talks about strategies to help with these skills and these feelings. She talks about holidays. She talks about math, reading. She has books about friendship and belonging and all of these other skills, but in a friendly way. And she uses them with spots. And when I say, like I said, I go out. I've got her plushies, and they're adorable. So as you can see, here's one that sits back here with me. And this one, if you open the back, has the little versions. And these little guys actually have Sadness right here, because I just taught a class. Sadness is here, and it has like the little names on it. But if I grab, so this guy right here, this is Peaceful Spot, and I grab the middle Peaceful Spot, he can fit back here, or if you purchase the cards that she has, they also go back there, so students can use them. Now, what I did is I had all of these spots, and I mean it, like I have all of these. So if I put these guys back in their little feelings detective, and I zip them up, okay, I had all of them. So we've got happiness, we've got anger, I've got scribble, I've got anxiety spot. Where we got a couple more left. We got love, we've got sadness. Just kind of piling up here. I'm missing one. Oh, that's disappointing. I'm missing my favorite one. Where did he go? He must have ran away. I am missing my confidence spot. But anyways, he's my favorite. What I do is I display them in my classroom on a shelf. Don't talk about them, don't introduce them until we read the series and go through her curriculum. And what I'll do is then I'll take one down and go, this is Sadness Spot. And we talk about them, the kids get to hold them, and then what happens is then there's a time that students can ask to talk to them or read to them or use it as an incentive and earn the chance to touch them because they are mine. I did personally buy them, and they are in good condition. I would like to keep it that way. And so it's important to them because they buy into it. They really like it. It's kind of like the elf on the shelf that I have in my classroom. They love these because they also get to interact with other things like the elves on the shelves in my classroom. So I get to interact with them. And then students get to write Valentine's Day cards during the Valentine's Day season when we talk about Valentine's Day, and they really get into it. And I just love it. The other part that I love about this whole curriculum is that Diane Alber has a YouTube channel, and she has episodes about feelings, confidence, things like that. She's got songs that the kids love to listen to and actually constantly ask me to listen to while they're working, whether we've just read this or not. They love to listen to these songs. And I actually had a nonverbal art student this year who loved to hear it so much she would actually ask me every day feeling spots, or would point to the spots and ask, and I'd be like, okay, sure, why not? So if you are a brand new teacher and you're looking for a place to start in this coming back to school year, of where to start, maybe to purchase some new curriculum or just tools for your classrooms to teach specifically social skills, these three authors would be the best I think I have. Now, not to say there aren't other people out there. There are a couple that I'm keeping my eye on that I'm probably going to purchase for some online social skills classes I am teaching that I will make another video about. These are the up-and-coming authors that I actually have a really good eye on that I think are going to be a good choice for my social skills. All right. With that, have an excellent rest of your day, and I will see you next time.